And this guy doesn't want to go.
As I remember, you replaced them like 3 times. You know, car transport.
I didn't even know this was down there. So it looks like there's a. Maybe it's a glycol water mixture.
Maybe this one's screw on.
Yeah, yeah.
But we probably need to clear this one. And I don't like potential sparks next to potential flammables.
Right.
If it's too hot, if the line is too hot on your lap, what does that indicate?
Something is dirty, something's plugged up, something's low on glycol. Which, you know what? You know how I said I felt something?
Yeah.
Might be pulsing from lack of glycol.
Yeah.
But anyways, here's.
Oh, okay. There.
And with this one, it's threaded on. Mine's push on. And this is where they usually end up leaking. And you see how they do this? This is a very old one. Mine actually has screws on here with collets. You know, this will still work, but you see how it's safety wired on there? And this is the power cord. This has the energy going to it, and it has the coolant going to it. And one of these is the return of coolant line. It's probably this one, and this one is probably the argon. And usually they end up leaking right on this side. At least for me it does.
Okay.
I mean, and when you do this, try to be thoughtful about, you know, the wire that's turned up. Usually on me, I usually put some black tape around there just for the hell of it. And if you can, on mine, there's about 3/4 of an inch difference between one and the other. So that way you can kind of push them in snugger and put the pieces of tape around her so this guy slides up a little bit easier.
So what initiates the welding process? So this is
It's like driving.
this is the
That's a foot feeder.
so this is electrical.
Yes.
Okay, so what regulates the argon coming out then?
Okay, what you have is you have a switch that's hooked to this deal right there. It does two things at once. It starts this and that.
Okay.
And actually it's supposed to start the argon first, tenth of a second or so ahead of the.
Okay. So this is our gas pedal. It starts off, and then how close is the wire to the? Would this be hot now?
No, it's cool.
Okay. All right. So show us just how you do it.
That's something else.
Well, listen, without pressing down on it.
No, I gotta have my foot there to lean.
Okay.
Because I was leaning on
Okay.
this. When you're doing this, there's something like this, but what you're doing is you're trying to push in at the same time, and it gets pretty close. I mean, that's something you're just
With
gonna
your
have to,
left hand, you're pushing in.
yeah, you're actually doing something like this,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's something you have to learn to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, A&L Sierra doesn't sell these Tig Welding gloves anymore. These are deer skin. You know what part of the deer that these are made out of?
I'm gonna go with
They're
the
Webos? They're Webos?
You got it. All set. Seriously. Evidently, it takes more heat. I'm not going to get
got
into
it.
that.
Virginia City.
But this, I mean, it's one of those things where it's going to take some time to get used to doing this. And for a while before you do anything, just push it out a little bit farther like that, and don't try to feed it in.
Okay.
Because you don't know what you're doing anyways, so why throw something else that it's not going to matter too much.
So is this needle touching the metal there?
No, you do not want. And what I was saying about it, there was a green light around
Yeah.
here. Did you guys see any of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because there's still dirt on this tungsten.
Oh, okay.
And the last time that they did something, man, they were just throwing some shit around. They got it into something.
That checks it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, it's easy to get tungsten.
Okay.
And
So you put this and this close together. You're kind of pushing and pulling at the same, pushing, pulling, feeding.
well,
And
here's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sitting there. This one is traveling this way. This one is traveling that way. And you go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And I'm feeding it at the same time. And also with this, I'm going this way, and I'll go up and down just a little bit.
Okay.
So you don't have to do that. You can just go straight like this and just sit there and stop for a second.
Why feed it in and out? Why not constantly? Just like you doing this guy. Perfectly line. Why not just both of them coming slow? Both of them.
Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to spread my weld out.
Okay,
Let's put
gotcha.
the heat out
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Now,
Makes sense.
a stitch weld, a real stitch weld, let's say if you're running twice the size welder, and you need a weld from here to there, what you do is you sit there and back and forth.
Okay.
Okay.
And I mean, these are just nice fillet welds. You just roll around there. I want to say odds are that was probably done with a machine, but it's easier being it's
Yeah.
round.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one was probably done by hand. This one right here, does that look like machine? Yeah, that might be by hand. It's got some pretty decent penetration. It's got some spots where it's not, but that might not be a high pressure area. And that's something else you need to look up. What are your pressure areas? So, I'm not going to call you names here, kid.
No problem.
But if you're just doing this all the time,
Yeah.
and he's got that one nailed, and you're not getting into the threads here where you're welding this to that, then everything's good. But if you got a pressure area, that's when I was talking about certs and all that kind of stuff. That's when you need to look into whether you have to have a pressure certified welder on that.